Texas had been through a lot in the 40 years after declaring independence from Mexico. Born of revolution, it had struggled as a republic, had faced dangers from Comanche, Kiowa, and Apache raiders, as well as Mexican invasion. It had also fallen hard for cotton agriculture, which choked out many other ventures that might have taken root. It participated in the failed attempt to create the Confederacy and suffered through the political, social, and economic disruptions that had followed. Texas leaders had crafted 5 different constitutions in that same turbulent 40-year span. One for the Republic, one for statehood, one for Confederate statehood, and 2 during Reconstruction. This volatile adolescence, these hard growing up years, had left a deep impression on Texas attitudes. On February 15, 1876, Texas adopted its 6th state constitution. It remains in place to this very day. This new set of laws were both a reaction to the efforts of Reconstruction Governor E.J. Davis, as well as an artifact of all the influences that had combined to make Texas. Some of the new laws clearly carried the flavor of old Spanish and Mexican law, especially regarding land ownership, homestead rights, water use, and mineral property. There were also Spanish echoes regarding debtor rights, judicial proceedings, and family law. At the same time, the new Constitution showed the influence of radical farmers and a clear distrust of strong central government. Texans had, after all, rebelled against Mexican and U.S. political control with almost equal ardor. As a result, the new state government the Constitution of 1876 created was decentralized. Texans believed that less government and more self-reliance was a better formula for their state. This continues to the present day, with a dedication to a low taxation, low services approach to government. This distrust of strong authority also led to laws prohibiting banks, as well as demands for a greater separation of church and state, even stronger than in most other states. Officials also served for shorter terms and for less pay. Under this new Constitution, the governor lost power, and so did the legislature. Lawmakers would only meet every other year. Not only is the Texas Constitution a mix of strange new laws, it also tightened state budgets, made more offices elected rather than appointed, and shortened terms of service, but did not impose a term limit on the governor. Power flowed away from Austin and back into the counties and local communities, except when it came to railroads. These were considered vital and therefore regulated by Austin. Education received a lot of attention. Lawmakers set aside lands to support schools, but abolished the office of state superintendent, replacing that official with a 3-person board, including the governor, the controller, and the secretary of state. Free public schools reverted to local control, which relied on local taxes. But Texas no longer required mandatory attendance. The state did require the creation of segregated schools for students of color. Higher education also received a boost. The Baptists and Presbyterians had already established Baylor University and Austin College 30 years before, and the Methodists consolidated 4 colleges into one, calling it Texas University. Now, the state of Texas got involved. The new Constitution put state and not church resources to the task by creating publicly supported institutions. The University of Texas became the flagship school, and the newly formed Texas Agricultural and Mechanical College became part of that system. Officials also established Prairie View A&M as a college meeting the needs of African American students. Building upon the 1839 work of President Maribel B. Lamar during the Republic of Texas, the Constitution of 1876 established a permanent university fund that was supported by control of millions of acres of land, mostly in West Texas, that could be sold or leased to benefit these new state schools. Texas and Texans had new laws, new schools, and new ideas.